What's up, everyone? This is Newbins from Motivated Life. We're here again at Main Space. I'm here with Stephanie Morales and here with Tiffany Kelly Gray. Finally got it right. It's like my 15th time doing this, y'all. So, what's up, everybody? How's everything going?
Things are good.
Yeah? So, we didn't get a chance to talk to you yet. So, your name is Tiffany. It's my first time meeting you today officially. What's your role in this whole project that we're doing?
I think my role is all the things.
Yeah.
So project management would be, I think, the best title. I secured the film, found the venues, chose the dates, found the venues again.
Yeah.
And the caterers, and you helped us with the snacks. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Try to plug my friends in.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, keep it local. So yeah, we've been working on this for about 2 months now, and I've been sort of the lead on making all the things come together.
Yeah.
Just booked the flights for the director and his hotel and all that fun stuff too.
Oh,
so that's fun. Yeah.
Now, how's that working with? Have you worked with those type of people before in general?
Directors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a really good friend who does film, some work, and I sometimes do things for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, where are you from? Are you from the area or?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been here for almost 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for Seattle, you're never a native. You can't claim it, right? Unless you're born here. Because there's so few people who are born here, right?
Yeah.
And you get all these transplants.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to say, like, no, I'm from here. I feel like I am in my heart at this point.
Yeah, then we start asking questions.
We'll adopt
Where
you
you
at
go to
this
school?
point.
Yeah.
What class you grew up on? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
She's like,
Yeah, no, I'm right. Exactly. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
But I feel like this is home.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter was born here, and this is her favorite city and favorite place, and she's been everywhere. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is our first time. This is my first time being part of a premiere this large. I was actually part of another premiere, local person, giving a plug, Anthony Townsend. He has a movie coming out. We already had a premiere.
Yeah.
And I get to learn a lot about this process because other people want to do premieres later on. So it's like, oh, now we get to understand how it kind of works a little bit, to see the coordination piece of it, to understand all the nuances, you know. Because even still trying to piece it all together, like, okay, this is what we got to do. Oh, I messed up on this. Let me, do it better next time. But
a spreadsheet was helpful. It's so many moving parts, right?
It's a lot.
So
any event and just events in general, and just it's like herding cats. You're like dealing with the people and the audience and the logistics and the aesthetics and the marketing and the everything.
It's been
a lot.
It's been a lot. It's been interesting to see who has been really responsive and really quick.
Okay.
When I'm reaching out to local businesses for providing things at the event, or thinking about venues, like who was able to get back with me.
Right.
And what I'm finding is that, a lot of our venues are still not quite reopened fully, right? They don't have anyone who does event planning. They don't have anyone who can help you if you're trying to get in their space. And you're like, hey, I'm gonna give you some money.
Right.
They're like, that's great, but we don't have anyone who answers that email currently, So that was sort of interesting. I've done events before at the Northwest African American Museum, places like that, and I really was thinking at first about those spots, and they're just not reopening completely. They're reopening. I sent an email. I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see them back. So I'm really excited about this spot for our small, intimate gathering.
Right.
And then the Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center is going to be amazing for how many people they can hold and how much they need in the community.
Yeah,
that's
a great location. Yeah,
it's a great space.
Yeah.
So
they've been busy through the pandemic. I feel like as long as there was the ability to have events in there, they would do it, according to whatever the standard was at that time. But yeah, they've been really active.
It seems like it. They got back to me really quickly. They were responsive. They were. I'm still hoping to get on their marquee. But besides that, they've been really quick. Like, hey, what else do you guys need? And that's been nice.
Okay.
Because sometimes when you're doing this sort of thing, you're also chasing people because it's busy. Right?
Sorry, we had to chase some codes.
No,
a couple different
not
emails.
at all. I was like, she's out there.
Yeah.
I'll hear from her. And Edward's like, I talked to her. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got
Good.
it.
Yeah, we're coming.
Someone has.
Well, I saw the emails later, and I'm like, oh, there was an email chain. Oh, I didn't see that.
No, I got spaces, and you don't text people, right? You that's just not considered the professional whatever.
Yeah.
But we're all we're self-employed, right?
Yeah.
So we're all
Text
out
is the
here.
fastest way
Text
for
me,
me.
what's up?
Yeah.
And I didn't think about that, and I should have.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
I didn't
easier for me
think
too.
about checking my emails. I'm like, okay.
I know. Or I'll check them I'm like, okay, I'm headed out the door. Later today, I will sit down and answer emails, and then 10 million things happen, and I'm like, oops, I never got to my emails. 2 days later, finally got to them.
And that's me texting.
Oh yeah, I do that too because it's like I can't make it unread once. So if I open this, I have to be prepared to answer this question or engage.
Right.
Yeah,
I've turned off my notifications. I'm like, no one knows if I read it or not. I was like, no one's gonna see those little dots.
No, those
dots will be never fade.
I know.
That's so funny. But yeah, it's been a process. I've never done anything like that here, and I'm really excited about bringing the film in particular, which is really cool.
I got a chance to see the trailer. It's it's a little controversial.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The family has opinions too, right? Like their experience of who he was and who he was the community, right? But to the community and how that works with his legacy, like how that impacts his legacy. That's interesting.
Yeah, my dad. I mentioned to my dad. My dad is 75, Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
He's very opinionated. And so I was like, I told him about it. He's like, he had his whole opinion about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I won't share it per se.
Oh,
but
I'm curious.
it's just like, there's certain people, it's very polarizing.
Yeah.
Very polarizing.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. It was interesting. I think, there's a few things that are interesting about it. Have you watched the trailer?
I haven't.
Okay. So it's about Phil Withers. I think that's right. I will admit, it's a lovely day being in my head, and I've been waking up and playing it every morning, so I think I'm messing this up. It's Ernest.
There you go.
That's what I was like, that's not right. It's about, he was a photographer during the civil rights movement, and was the most known, right? Took all these photos that we know, that we are ingrained in the back of our brains, right? We've seen those photos. Once he died, it came out that he was an FBI informant.
Crazy.
Right, exactly. And people are like, oh my God, this man was everywhere. He had access to all these great civil rights leaders constantly, which means the FBI did as well.
Yeah.
So it's a question of whether or not, what was he doing?
What was the intent? What was his intention? Yeah.
And some other photographers at the time seemed to feel like people were just trying to get paid. Mm-hmm. You couldn't make any money. Right, and the FBI would pay you this amount of money for your pictures. Mm-hmm. You took the pictures anyway. But there's also the other side of that, right? We know that people lost their lives during that period. Mm-hmm. There's Black Panthers who lost their lives during that period. There's all these other leaders
via the FBI.
That's where my dad.
Yeah,
that's where my dad was coming from because he was a civil rights person too. Mm-hmm. He marched with some of the people, so he kind of understood. Wait a second, what?
Yeah.
It was hold up.
Yeah.
So it's just it'd be interesting.
Yeah. And was he aware, right, of what power he was handing over?
Right.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I know. The discussion, the question and answer at the end.
Yeah.
Would be fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm also interested too because I'm a newly, get into the film industry.
Yeah.
Writing a film now, but I was in someone else's film, Anthony Townsend's film, The Book of Judas is the name of his film. But it's one of those things where I've always had a critical eye for things anyway, and to see something, because I read through their bios, and to see, all the things they've already done, so I can't wait to just talk to them and see what they've been up to, just kind of pick their brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things, once you see it, it's like, oh, okay, it's possible. How do you get to Netflix? How did you do this? How do you coordinate all these different things? So I'm still trying to piece my little equipment together. So,
you're getting there. It's not little equipment.
Little by little. On the way here, actually, I was saying something. I was going to post something, but I didn't yet. I get a chance to work with a lot of adult Black women. I was saying, actually, I work with probably 85 to 90% of the people I work with are women. And there's different challenges with that because you guys got certain things that you do on task that guys are not good at. So for me, it's been it's been a learning curve probably the last 4 or 5 years of scheduling. that's been big. Even being on time, like I was let you guys know, hey, I'm down the street, I'm not that far away, you know, because I used to be like, I might be 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late, and just normal stuff.
Yeah. But depending on the context, that might offend somebody, or other people might be okay with it, or
automatically. So I try to be more mindful of that. But then also, what is it like for you guys to work with? I don't know if you work with a lot of Black women in general in business relationships. Like, how does that work as far as being at the table? Something like this, and also being able to coordinate something in the community that, growing up, I haven't seen a lot of us come together to really put a lot of projects together, and actually, like, you have your own space, versus people haven't had their own spaces, like, literally have to go scrounging for places to go to, who can they work with to help them get something like what you're doing, bring it to Seattle, how do you coordinate even like the vendors and things like that. A lot of folks that I know, they miss opportunities, because they don't know how to work with each other sometimes, or they don't follow through like they should. When you put a call out there, you're not getting information back.
Yeah.
How's it been like for you guys, just as Black women, working together in the community, challenges?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, at first I want to speak to, the idea that like there's, to say like, oh, like, I have a space, or you've done these bigger projects and stuff like that. And the thing is, like, we were just a few years ago, like, I didn't have a space. That's why I worked so hard to have, So it's like that's all steps in the process. Right. So like, I see myself in both directions, in terms of like, I see myself in the people that are like just starting out, and then I see myself in the people that are like well beyond me, and I just see like this is a process, and who knows, the person who's like just starting out could get farther. I've had people surpass me. I've passed people that I started after, so it's like there's no direct timeline on that. Okay. My experience with working with Black women has been, I really enjoy it, because I feel like, I've worked for about 9 or 10 years. I worked in corporate, and so I worked around a lot of not Black women, I'll just say. And there's just so many, there's just a lot of like power dynamics, microaggressions, things like that, that it's like when I step into the room with other Black women, it's like, it feels good to be like, I know that we have shared experiences, and nobody's coming. At least I haven't had this really where I'm coming to a table and like there's any strange power dynamics or disrespect, and it's like we all worked really hard to get here, and my experience has been really good. Yeah.
Mine too.
I mean, people are people, so there's sometimes things happen, but in general, my general experience.
Yeah. Sometimes your personalities might not be like the best mesh, but that doesn't mean you can't work together.
Right.
Similar to you, I've only had positive experiences, and I think part of it is that I tend to do this work. My job is mostly community engagement, right? So my job is pretty much to help, right? To support, whether that's to provide a platform, or whether that's to drive, more donors to your page, or whatever you're doing. Like whatever you're doing, I'm just trying to make it better. And that's a great space to be in with Black women, right? I'm just here. Can I help?
Support to help.
Can I help?
Yeah.
And the answer is sometimes like, I don't know if you're gonna help. Let's see, right? And that's fine too. Yeah. And then eventually, like, okay, yeah, you could do this, or you could help with this, or maybe we could try this thing, But I've had great support. I mean, all the events that I've thrown have been, the people who have been my contacts at those venues have been Black women, and they've been great. And there's some authenticity to our exchanges that are just like, none of the power dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm not trying to upsell you on a bigger room. Like, we're just talking, right? Like, what's your budget look like? What do you need? What can I get you?
Right.
And then we figure it out from there.
Yeah.
And that's been really nice. I'm not from here, so I'm from a city where there are a ton of Black people.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm used to being around a ton of Black people. Like, that's my comfort space. So finding that here is great, because I only live in neighborhoods where there's some of us.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for us when I'm not in those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I'm always like, hey, what's up?
And I feel like Black women here have learned how to sort of navigate, because it's not a place where there's a lot of Black people. So it's like, I think anybody that's from here or has worked here for a long time in certain spaces has learned to navigate, have learned to do all the things you gotta do and the show and the prove and all that kind of stuff. And so, like you said, it is nice when you're like, oh, it's us.
Yeah,
oh, good. Okay, I can skip all the other stuff. Like, let's just get straight to the thing that we need to get to, and like, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, as a guy, cause I've been part of a lot of women's groups, so I've been like the video guy. There's 100 ladies in there talking about all kinds of stuff. I do ask.
Just a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I even ask, can I excuse myself because I think I'm hearing too much. Like, is it okay?
I'm getting intel.
Yeah, I'm getting too much info. But what I've thought about it from a guy's perspective, like, us guys need to start doing what you guys do. Because we do it in the sports arena, that's how we do stuff.
For sure.
But when it comes to like just what our ideas and business, we always like jockeying for position. There's people I won't even name, like recently it's happened where I'm like you, I'm setting a table for y'all. I literally got so many contacts, I give out free information, I got a platform that I'm like literally highlighting you guys, and you still think I'm competing with you. That doesn't make no sense. It's like one of those things where when I'm around the ladies, I see you guys coordinating and getting things done. And we'll be doing some basic stuff, and I can't even get that together. Because it's just something that's kind of a little frustrating, but hopefully it changes. So I think there are people now that's starting to see other folks are doing stuff and we're working together. It's okay that we're not losing power, we're actually gaining power because we're actually connecting the dots with Dennis Conways and other people like that that are helping set the foundation. And it's just one of those things where you being an outsider from Chicago, there's always been like people in general coming to Seattle, like the Seattle Freeze. I'm like, I know it's real, but it's also your personality and how you actually engage with people. So.
I'm from the Midwest. I'm a
friend. Midwest are always
right. I'm a big friend. So if we stay in the same room long enough, we're gonna be better. Right.
That's how I feel. Like, give me 10 minutes. I don't want to wait in the room. Just like
yeah. So. I know. I've seen you at markets where you're like, I'm like, who knows everybody in here? I don't know if you did before the event, but you do by the end.
Yeah, that's funny. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like that in every space, but if there's Black people there, I'm trying to get to know people.
Yeah.
And not just Black people of color.
Yeah. And then that's how you build community, and I feel like we just get so much more done working. Like collaboration is like number one. I mean, I have like a little bee tattoo here. I'm all about the like hive, the cross pollination, you know what I mean? It's like we just. I mean, if you look at any successful artists, a lot of them artists or creatives or entrepreneurs have come out of working together, whether it's as a group or a collaborative or a collective or whatever the case might be. Like, we just get so much more done that way.
And different brains come up with different things, right?
Absolutely.
I want to hear what you think.
Absolutely.
We just had the same experience. We just watched the same film. We read the same book. But you took it totally different than I did. And if I go out there with my idea that I got, maybe I missed something.
Yeah.
We're better together.
Absolutely.
We're always better together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, that's part of the reason that I even space was always kind of hard to get to, but also I really strongly believe that you just put the right people in the right room together and it will happen organically. The conversations will happen, the ideas will spark, the creativity will happen, whatever the need and the met need will mesh together, just space and time and occasion for it. So, I mean, I'm excited for I'm excited to see what comes out of the film, the film screening.
I hope that a lot of artists make it. I really want it to be an opportunity for people to come together and talk. Like you were just saying, right? I'm trying to get into film. I want to know how this guy did it. Like, this is an opportunity in a small space to have conversations like that. And I'm hoping that is something that's generated. I know that's Dennis's hope, right? That artists will come out. And outside of being able to talk about their own art, that they'll be able to learn from one another, right? And just like have those little meetings. That next collaboration maybe will be born in that space. So that's what I'm hoping.
Exactly. And then even the conversations around the topic, of what. See, I didn't even know about the FBI part of it. When we talked about it, I was talking to him about how important artists are in being the truth tellers in history, and we were talking about.
Yeah, I kept it quiet too, because when you said
yeah,
she don't know that.
He's like, she don't know.
She don't know that part.
You know, I'm over here like, yeah, you know, artists are the truth tellers. They're the ones that like, you know, and even with the civil rights movement being televised the way it was, you know, and you know, really being in people's faces that way, and so like those pictures that he took are really important.
Yeah.
But then also like, there's this like duality that happens and has happened like in any movement. You know, it's like, how do you approach it? How do you know, take the good with the bad, or totally reject, or totally have an understanding for why, you know, so.
You know what the truth is though? It's like, not to condone maybe what he might have been involved in or not, I don't know, I haven't seen the whole thing. So, a lot of us actually, Black folks in America, I work in the government. The government does a lot of stuff around the world, and it does a lot of stuff to us too. But we still work in that environment. Like, the government is the largest employer of Black people. But the government has done how much stuff to Black people? You know, so it's kind of one of those situations if you really think about it.
It's always navigating the system.
Exactly.
Right? That's what Black people have to experience. It's like being part of it, being enveloped in the system, but not actually invited part of it, and then also still having to engage and navigate through it. That's a lot of nuance to have to deal with. So it's like, how do we forgive some of the sins? Do we say, hey, absolutely not? Like, you know, it's like, how do you juggle that?
It's gonna be interesting to see people's opinions on that, because if you really break it down, like as an American, I always break it down like.
It's like Black police officers. It's like,
I
don't know how I feel.
I got friends who are police
But I have friends who are Black police officers. I'm like,
So
no, I think you're right. I think you're both right. It's really tricky. I think we can also learn from it though, right? What was the recent, it was before the pandemic. I feel like that time was just like snapped and it's gone.
Didn't count.
Few years. But there was an activist here. It wasn't Nikita Oliver. I can't remember who it was. Another Black woman. And she was saying that one thing that we need to remember is that we can't tell everybody everything. Don't tell everybody your thoughts. Don't write everything on social media. Like, so maybe we can also learn from maybe his mistake or maybe his like willingness to do this thing. I don't know. I don't know what.
Or not understanding, like you said, understanding the power of it.
Right. But maybe that's also something we can take away from that. Like, if we're doing this work, we don't have to share every way that we got there and every step along the way. Some of it can be a surprise.
Well, I mean, it's like trade secrets. I mean, businesses don't tell you how they did everything. It's like,
it's a secret sauce for a reason.
I mean, a lot of times we're so happy to share, like, look what we're doing. I was like, dude, we need to calm all that down. Like, somebody else is
there
watching
wasn't
this
signs
too.
for the Underground Railroad. Like, you know, it's like, sometimes you gotta lay low. Right. 4 o'clock meeting here.
Make space, go to the back, there's a tunnel, go through there.
Exactly.
After
Don't put me in it.
That's right. Yeah, we gotta do better in that regard.
No, really, like, that's just the nuances of like navigating all of that, you know, but also social media was what helped spread the word in a lot of places and really spread the movement in a really big way too. So it's like, everything's a double-edged sword, really.
Yeah, I always go back to the, might be off topic a little bit, but like the Black Wall Street. My family's from Oklahoma area. In fact, they were affected by that. And the Black Wall Street wasn't just Oklahoma. There's multiple spots throughout the country. But one of the things I always think about is it was easy to attack them in that environment because they all live in the same environment. And I'm thinking now that we have this, we're more distributed throughout the country, it seems like, or at least our ideas are. There's a way of not telling everybody your business and communicating and working together without letting everybody know every single step that you're making. You know, I think that's the part that we have to kind of watch out, because a lot of the young kids are used to that. It's normal to share everything. And even us now trying to get attention, like, oh, I want to do. There's stuff I used to do too. I'm like, oh, let me delete that. Like, I'm telling too much. I'm like giving you all my stuff that I'm working on. Somebody could easily just kind of just make little things and stop you from doing it. You don't even know. So I do trademark stuff, and I always tell people. I think I was just talking to them yesterday. I said, you need to stop talking so much.
Someone can take that idea.
I said, dude, I can take your trademark. I can go to the back right now and do a trademark. I know how to do trademarks that quick. And I'm like, you need to stop talking because you got good ideas, but somebody else is smarter than you that has money and can make it work real quick. So you gotta learn. I told him, like, In fact, I'm inviting them here.
Yeah.
There's 2 young gentlemen. I said, well,
tell them about the Link Project and how that went down and why it's not the Link Project.
Well, yeah, I said that part. Yeah. But
no, it was a good.
Everything
pivoted into something really beautiful. But yeah.
So I was like, they could do trademark classes down here and learn some stuff.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. So I do that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
They tell the good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah. That's important. No, yeah.
Well, we get so much stuff stolen from us.
Yeah. Because we don't know how to get it.
Don't know how
to protect it. We don't know how to do that.
And they've also, the society has put things in place where you couldn't even get trademarks or patents and things of that nature. The Bourbon Whiskey Company, I forgot which one it was, like, they just recently said, oh yeah, we stole that.
I know. Okay. And now everybody's like, well, I'm buying that whiskey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
But back to the picture taker and back to your gallery. So your gallery's gonna open up on the 28th officially.
28th, yes. So that Friday, January 28th.
January 20th.
Because the 27th is a Saturday.
The 27th is a Friday.
Okay, yeah. So that Friday and Saturday, because Friday will be the picture taker, which will be the first event, sort of officially, and then so people will be down here and it will be open, and then.
And that one's a private event.
That is a private event.
So let people know. Don't be trying to show up.
Yeah, but if you want to show up, you
yeah.
can send me an email.
There you go.
We've got space available. And the space is beautiful.
And what's your email where they can reach you?
That's a good question. Navigator@cacseattle.org.
Okay, so we'll put that on the link so everybody has access to that.
Yeah. Send me an email and I can make it happen.
Okay. And then the other one is Langston Hughes on the 28th.
Yes.
And that one's open.
And that one's huge. That's on brown paper tickets.
Okay.
You could search for it. The picture taker is the title. But you can also put a link to it.
Yeah, I started putting the links to the paper.
So what time is that one at?
That one's at 4.
At 4?
And that one is.
Or no, 5:30, I think.
Oh, that's right. I have to be there at 4.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're right. No, I have to be there.
But we should tell our people.
So people, I have it from 4 to 8, but you have to be there at 5:30.
So people could come here 1 to 5, and then grab some food and drinks and celebrate, get in a vibe, and then go just.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because mine's 1 to 5 on the 28th, and then yours starts at 5:30.
That's awesome.
Be a whole.
Let's do
It
it.
could be a movement.
We'll
it's a way.
invite the director for the picture taker.
Yeah.
Wants to come here opening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got performers and music and food and DJs and
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maker things. I've got some things for people to kind of jump in and make some stuff.
I love a maker space.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That'd be dope. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
There you go. See,
we're gonna bring it all together. Collabs right here.
Yep.
Synchronicities.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So, I think we're good, right?
I
We
think
did
so.
everything we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
We did.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys gotta come out. We have the picture taker. We also have Stephanie Morales' grand opening on the same weekend, and so it's gonna be a lot of fun. You can stop here on the 27th. For the picture taker, get the invite, send information to Tiffany. We'll send that link out. But also, the next day is going to be over at Langston Hughes. But before you go there, you can actually stop here and have some more fun.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's it. Motivated Life. We're going to keep on collaborating, keep on sharing stories, and let you guys know exactly what's going on in the community and inspire you guys to keep doing more. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Ernest Withers represented a treasure in the Black community.
He photographed somewhere between 1 million and 2 million pictures.
They loved him as a person, but that changed. My father was an FBI alleged informant.
The famed civil rights photographer who appears to have also done double duty for the FBI.
I don't know whether he was my friend or my enemy.